We report in the description the link to all the episodes of the fifth and final season, centered on Emmanuel's return home, the birth of his son, and his discovery that everything has changed in his life. 1. Reptilia Part 1. March 29, 1997. While Antonia gives birth to Emmanuel's son, the boy takes a trip to Tuscany with Ariana and feels strangely disturbed. 2. Reptilia Part 2. While Emmanuel is in the countryside with Ariana, again strangely disturbed, Antonia receives a visit from Frederick, who tells her of his intention to marry a Swiss noblewoman. 3. Minuto. Unpredictably but not too much, Frederick gets back in touch with Antonia but finds her very changed. 4. Reptilia Part 3. Emmanuel opens his heart to Ariana for the first time, explains his vision of life, and proposes to her. 5. The strategist, Michel, Emmanuel's older brother, develops a strategy to win Antonia back. 6. Certain half-truths. Ariana finally decides to tell Emmanuel part of the truth, hiding the news of her paternity from him. 7. I Don't Love You. Michel wins the game with Antonia. 8. Meeting Part 1. Emmanuel returns home after more than a year and finds everything changed. 9. Meeting Part 2. Emmanuel accidentally meets Carlos and finally sees his brother again, who has something very important to tell him. 10. As if it were normal, Emmanuel finds the courage to go to Antonia's house and is shocked by her change. 11. Nothing That Concerns You Part 1. Emmanuel sees his son Martino for the first time, but Antonia does not reveal the identity of his father. 12. Nothing That Concerns You Part 2. After a moment of tremendous confusion, Emmanuel gives in and plays along with Antonia, eventually finding himself in her arms. 13. Emmanuel's Last Journey Part 1. Antonia, after having deceived Emmanuel into thinking she is rekindling her love, finally dismisses him. The boy, confused and upset, sets off without a destination and gets lost in the hills. 14. Emmanuel's Last Journey Part 2. Emmanuel, dazed and out of his mind, tries to understand who he was and who he has become, but ends up off the road and has a serious accident. 15. The Moon and the Donkey. Emmanuel regains consciousness after the accident and finds himself alone in the dark, in the open countryside, with his cell phone in pieces. He limps off to find help, but is caught in a thunderstorm. Enjoy listening.